Chief, this is a public meeting.
You listen to me, Judy. You cannot tell these people that they can't have a camera in here.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Don't touch our microphone, sir. You can't kick us out of this meeting. This is a public meeting, so we have a right to be here.
Southeast BULLITT Fire Chief Julius Hatfield tried to keep WDRB out of a public meeting of the Southeast BULLITT Fire Protection District.
Turn the camera off.
I've asked you in a nice way. Buddy, call the cops and get them on up here, will you?
Residents want answers too.
But when you've got an $800,000 surplus, and you still have your tax rate at the same deal, why don't you lower the tax rate?
Hatfield then moved the board meeting upstairs. He serves as the chairman of this board and the vice president of the fire department board. 5 other board members attended this meeting.
Thank you.
Chief, you can't throw our microphone.
Drop that thing.
No, you didn't drop it. You threw it. I'm putting another one down, and it better not be thrown.
Here is how it works. The Southeast BULLITT Fire Protection District collects the taxes, about $1 million a year, and gives that money to the nonprofit Southeast BULLITT Fire Department for service. The Fire Protection District meetings are quick. This one lasted only 10 minutes.
Why are there so many firehouses that are empty?
Do you understand English, darling? Do you understand English? I just told you I don't have anything to say to you.
I understand English.
Okay,
I don't
thank you.
appreciate
Good evening.
how you're speaking to me.
We contract a fire department to do our district work for us, all right? As long as they're providing service for us, we have no say what he does with his money.
The Kentucky State Auditor's Office recently opened what it calls an examination of the Fire Protection District. In 2013, Auditor Adam Edelin said the department needs to make monthly reports to the district as to how the money is being spent.
There's nothing to find. When you do everything right, you have nothing to worry about.
Getting this building back in the hands of the taxpayers, finding a way to make sure the taxpayers get a good shake. That's what I was put on this board for. That's what these other board members were put on here for. But I don't really feel that their heart is in doing that.
When we asked for IRS tax returns that the nonprofit is legally required to file for 2012 and 2013, they claim not to have them. They said the nonprofit is being audited. Tax returns we were able to obtain showed that the department has been accumulating surpluses. In 2011, its net assets swelled to $4.6 million. That year, it spent only more than $530,000, but received $1.4 million in tax money. So where is all the extra money going? We tried to get answers at the second public meeting of the night, the fire department board meeting.
It's none of your business. It's a private meeting.
No, there are meetings that you have to hold that are public.
That's not a public meeting. The district board is. This is not.
So everything that goes on with taxpayer money is all private meetings.
Not taxpayers' money, time it gets to us.
Christmas bonuses are given every year to paid firefighters. Records show last year, Hatfield's wife Joanne received a year-end lump sum payment of $14,000 for volunteering her secretarial and bookkeeping services.
For the 3 command people that do not get run money all year long, we give them a $200 or $300 bonus at Christmas. That is very true.
Will the same thing happen this year?
I hope so, because I could use the money.
And how much will go to your wife this year?
I don't have any idea. It hadn't been decided yet. But as the first year, we've discussed putting her on the regular payroll and let paychecks pay her like everybody else.
Under the Kentucky Constitution, bonuses for public employees are not allowed. Hatfield says the fire department has 5 full-time employees and more than 30 volunteers, but has 6 fire stations. 2 are basically garages used for storage. The department says it has plans of selling those. Residents who live by Fire Station 3 on Deetsville Road say they can't get a lower insurance premium because it's not an active firehouse. Hatfield says they have equipment in them but are not staffed.
We have 4 active firehouses. English. I'm speaking English here.
Do you treat everyone like this, sir?
Do what?
Treat everyone like the way you're treating me?
I'm not treating you in any way other than the way that anybody else would.
Mutual aid is another issue. Shepherdsville Fire Chief Lane Troutman says his department with 15 full-time firefighters and 2 fire stations can easily help Southeast BULLITT Fire and vice versa. But Hatfield says he will not assist.
Between you and me, we've lost $750,000 to Shepherdsville through our annexation. We can't afford to lose much more or we're going to be out of business.
Instead, Troutman says Southeast Bullitt uses Mount Washington and Zoneton fire departments for mutual aid.
Well, Mount Washington's probably, from their main station in town, is probably 12 to 13 miles away from where they would have to respond to. And Zoneton's probably another 5 to 6 miles further than us.
Even if something is very serious and they need your help and you're the closest department?
No, ma'am. Can I make it any more clear? I asked you once tonight if you understand English. I'm speaking English. No, we do not do mutual aid with Shepherdsville.
In April, the Southeast Bullitt Fire Department was forced to pay back nearly $19,000 to the Kentucky Fire Commission for falsified training records. That's after Hatfield admitted he wasn't at training, which is tied to state aid and incentive pay. Despite all the records uncovered, some longtime board members of the Fire Protection District have come to Hatfield's defense.
Julius has turned his fire department around when they was just carrying buckets and throwing on fires.
The allegations about how much money Julius has got, to me, that's his business.
The auditor's office says it's still at the beginning stages of its examination. No word on when that will be finished. At the Southeast Bullitt Fire Department, Valerie Chin, WDRB News. Binders of text messages and nude photos in this box at the Bullitt County Sheriff's Office. Photos of an alleged victim in men's private areas. Pictures so graphic they had to be blurred. WDRB has all the documents from the now closed solicitation to prostitution case of Shepherdsville Mayor Scott Ellis.
But was he sexting with her?
Based upon the what I know of the term sexting and based on what I've read, I would say there's a guarantee that he was, yes.
In the nearly 600 pages of evidence, documents say Ellis admitted in a video confession that he used his position as mayor to get sexual favors from a woman on parole. The sheriff's office says that video is still in the hands of another agency that is investigating Ellis. Ellis is also accused of using racial slurs numerous times. A Shepherdsville officer who is now the assistant police chief claims in 2012, Mayor Ellis began to talk about black people and referred to them as the N-word. He went on to say that every N-word born should be injected with sickle cell so they could not reproduce. The document says 2 others witnessed Ellis saying that. One of those witnesses did not want to comment to WDRB, but the other, the Shepherdsville police chief, says he doesn't ever recall hearing Ellis use the N-word. We decided to get answers for ourselves and went to City Hall.
I'm Valerie Chin with WDRB News. I'm here to see Mayor Scott Ellis. A Shepherdsville police officer says that you've been using racial slurs, using the N-word.
No, I do not use those words. No, do not use those words.
I know that one of the employees that works at Shepherdsville had informed the investigator that Ellis made some racial comments regarding ethnicity and made some comments about that they caused a crime and some other comments about them that are unfortunate that he made those kind of comments.
In July, Ellis was indicted for solicitation to prostitution, a misdemeanor. But in November, Special Prosecutor Mark Schaus told WDRB that he read each of these text messages in the case file and did not believe the evidence supported the prostitution charge, so the case was dismissed. In late 2014, the Sheriff's Office says 3 women, including the parolee, came forward with sexual allegations involving Ellis, alleging Ellis made promises for sexual favors.
Is that you? It says your name on there.
Yeah, but I don't recognize him.
So what do you say about this then?
I don't have anything to say. This is the first time I've seen him. I don't recognize him.
In this message dated October of 2014 on Facebook Messenger to the parolee, Ellis says, "What I meant by you need something and I need something, you needed money for your phone and I needed a sexual favor."
To me, that's the biggest concern, is that government offices were used for that.
In this message, the alleged victim asked Ellis to get her a pardon from the governor. He says in the message, "I called and talked, now it's in the governor's hands. I have called several times, actually."
Are you planning to resign?
No, absolutely not. I have no reason to.
Earlier you had mentioned you were going to resign.
Well, we had talked about that, but I have no reason to.
What do you want to say to folks here in Shepherdsville?
You know, we have a lot of great things going on in this community right now. We have a road project that the governor just announced.
But how do you move past this?
We're moving past it. It's over, it's done, we're moving past it.
When you're a public official or you're put in that capacity where you're here to protect the public and you actually cause harm to the public, and And unfortunately, my personal opinion, I think that's what's been done here.
Last week, Shepherdsville Treasurer Gayla Bright wrote this letter to the mayor and city council members saying she opposes a mayor's inappropriate behavior with female employees. She says she suffered mental abuse and Ellis retaliated against her for cooperating with the police investigation.
She makes a lot of allegations.
It's an out. We're not even going to discuss it. We're not going to discuss it. Have a wonderful day.
WDRB.com reporter Jason Riley goes in depth on the story and reveals what other text messages say. You can read the story right now on our website. In Shepherdsville, Valerie Chin, WDRB News.
49, 38 in a 25-mile-per-hour zone.
48, 39 and a 25. Bus number 1065.
I think bus drivers just need to be reminded that they have to stay within speed limits.
Carrying children to and from school.
47, that's bus number 553.
Our investigation in November clocked about 20 speeding JCPS school buses on interstates and side streets.
What has been communicated to them since our story aired?
I always told them to go 5 miles under the speed limit. And that way it's safe, and and you don't have to worry about getting pulled in the office for speeding.
But the buses sped on. Viewer captured this video showing 2 JCPS buses going at least 10 miles over the speed limit on I-65 last month. Many others called WDRB and sent messages asking us to run the radar again. So over 3 days.
42, 43, 44, 45.
In the mornings and afternoons,
48.
we check for speeding buses with the same radar police departments use.
48 and a 35, 46 and a 35 here on Newburgh Road.
We only counted buses going at least 10 miles per hour over the speed limit. We went back to Newburgh Road near the Watterson Expressway. In just minutes, we clocked 8 buses speeding.
49 miles per hour. This is bus number 556. 49 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone.
We caught 5 buses speeding on Cane Run Road.
47, bus number 1108. 49, 48, 49.
Overall, we saw 30 school bus drivers breaking the law. And this time, WDRB uncovered a more surprising place buses are speeding: school zones.
This is Southern Parkway near several local schools. The speed limit is 25 miles per hour during these hours, and it wasn't hard to find speeding buses. 39, bus 518. 41.
We found 12 speeding buses in this school zone on one afternoon.
36 on the first one. 42 on the second one. Bus 1217.
The biggest violator going 24 miles over the 25 mile per hour school zone speed limit.
49 for this bus. 1261.
We went back and ran radar again and found more speeding buses, more than last time. What's your reaction to that?
I'm still concerned. I don't know if they were the same people. If they were, then that's going to be a big problem. But that's obviously something we're going to have to address.
We ran the radar near Mill Creek Elementary School on Dixie Highway.
35. That's bus number 518. 35 in a 25 mile per hour school zone.
We clocked 2 school buses speeding near Rangeland Elementary School.
Bus 1188. 36 miles per hour in a school zone.
On Preston Highway near Okolona Elementary School, a bus going 39 in a 25.
Shouldn't bus drivers know better? They see the flashing lights and it's 25 miles per hour.
Yeah, but like I said, unless you drive that bus, you don't know what's going on.
John Stovall represents a bus drivers union.
I'll be honest with you, if I had someone on my bus, hell, I'd speed too. I'd want to get them off the bus.
He says the district is short 200 bus drivers and students are unruly on board, and both those factors lead to speeding.
I've been behind buses. I rode 5 buses last year. I was threatened to be stabbed. I was threatened to have my eyes cut out.
The bus union wanted us to see firsthand what happens on the bus by riding a troubled route, but JCPS denied our request and won't release bus video. And our investigation found it wasn't just JCPS buses speeding through the school zone.
41.
A St. Agnes school bus and a St. Margaret Mary bus were each going 16 miles an hour over the speed limit.
38.
Miller Transportation operates those buses. John Miller says neither of these buses triggered a speeding alert. Our system is flawed in that it does not change the speed limit in our system during school zone periods. Miller says their buses are set to give an audible alert to the driver at 10 miles over the speed limit, but after our investigation, the company decided to lower that to 5 miles over. JCPS admits its system doesn't alert the district when buses are speeding.
I think it would be ideal if we had somebody monitoring, but mostly we rely on complaints.
But you don't get a response back when you talk to them. It's just, well, you call again or let us know or get us a bus number.
So what are the repercussions for speeding bus drivers?
Coming from Fort Knox up Dixie Highway, I'm riding next to a bus doing 63 miles an hour. I got pulled over. So I kind of cracked up and I asked the officer about it and he didn't want to respond.
Terry Kaiser is a retired police officer. He says there's a reason you don't see officers pulling over buses.
And it's an unspoken rule, don't pull them over because it stops them from getting their shifts done and getting the kids to school on time.
As this video shows, police did bust a JCPS bus driver for speeding in a school zone in November.
Driving a school bus, going through a school zone, 25-mile-an-hour zone, you're doing 42.
Saying he admitted to going 42 into 25 on Johnsontown Road. WDRB uncovered the letter the district gave to the bus driver, saying when an employee receives a citation in a school bus, it does not make a favorable impression upon our students, parents, or the general public. It goes on to say future incidents could lead to losing his job.
How will this problem be resolved?
Well, I think the biggest thing is if they get staffing up, then that'll take the pressure off them having to be in a hurry to pick it up.
Something that obviously we're going to have to address, but what I can tell you is we're not telling people speed, just get the kids home as fast as you can. That's not coming from us, and it is never condoned.
Some residents say they want to see more buses cited for speeding to try and slow them down.
48. What's your message for JCPS?
If those were your children on that bus, how fast would they be going?
Valerie Chin, WDRB News. It's a confidential Kentucky State Police investigation, but WDRB has obtained records and video that outline allegations of rape, a cover-up, and how a police chief and a detective became a part of it. Hours of body camera video and audio recordings shed light on the focus of that investigation.
You're a victim, okay, and you've been done wrong by somebody, from what it sounds like you've done wrong, been done wrong by somebody that's in a position of power that shouldn't be doing like that to people.
WDRB began digging into charges against Hillview Police Detective John Nissen, who was indicted last week for theft, witness tampering, and official misconduct. And that uncovered an even bigger case being handled by KSP's Drug Enforcement Special Investigations Unit. Documents show DJ Reynolds, the Pioneer Village police chief, is accused of raping a woman while she was staying at his residence in 2017. That investigation started when the woman called police to give them information about a drug case. Body camera video shows the woman at Reynolds' house, and then he shows up. But when he leaves, the woman has more to tell police.
Does either one of you have audio or video on your shirts?
I don't.
I do. You do?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it on or off?
It's on.
You can't turn it off?
The woman then comes up and whispers in the officer's ear.
Yeah, when she met me in the road, she's like, come over to DJ's house. I thought, oh, no. I said, don't you live right there? No, that's just the address I used.
She's trying to keep him from being in any trouble. She's scared of him. She's scared of him.
Yep. Kind of what she insinuated when she whispered in my ear.
I just hope I don't get any repercussions over this. I better not.
You're doing your job.
In the police interview, she alleges Chief Reynolds raped her.
Do you feel that you couldn't tell him no because of who he is?
I told him no.
And what happened?
Ain't no way to believe me. It's behind closed doors.
Is this a he said, she said case?
It appears that's the case, which is oftentimes the way it is in allegations of this type.
Attorney Thomas Clay represents Reynolds, who has not been charged with any crime. KSP confirms to WDRB that it is investigating Reynolds, but will not give details. The court documents, however, show investigators questioning the chief about the rape accusations.
You have never forced yourself upon...
No.
The documents say he admits to a sexual relationship with the woman, but Reynolds tells WDRB News her rape accusations are not true.
I'm a police officer, okay? I mean, I do things by the book. I don't do anything wrong, ever.
I just don't do that.
Mr. Reynolds denied having any inappropriate contact with this alleged victim, and pretty much there was no force, there was nothing else that would be the basis for any kind of criminal conduct.
Documents show after police interviewed the woman about the rape allegations, Nissen took her right back to her alleged perpetrator's home.
And DJ was at the house, which I really wasn't comfortable with. But she wanted her stuff and she wanted out. I said, okay. DJ gave her some money. I gave her some money.
He says it was to buy a phone. In these court documents, investigators say Nissen got a hotel room for that woman here at the O'Connell Lodge in Brooks in September of 2017, and then returned later that night and admitted he had sex with her. Prosecutors say Nissen was on the job that day.
Did you have sex with that night at the hotel room when you dropped her off? Was there a sexual relationship that night?
Briefly, yes.
Briefly. Go into detail about that if you don't care, please. What does that mean?
I had oral sex with her.
KSP is looking into whether Nissen tipped off Reynolds about the rape complaint and arranged for her to leave the area to avoid talking to police. But Nissen tells police that he texted her to leave the area because she felt unsafe. The documents detail another twist.
Are you being perfectly honest with me, or are you trying to cover for the chief, or what?
Oh, no, I wouldn't cover for him.
In police body cam video that WDRB has requested but hasn't received, another woman stopped for shoplifting at a Bullitt County gas station asked to make a phone call. When the officer recognizes the number as Chief Reynolds, he asked to make the call for her. The documents say she says no because he'll make me pay it back with, quote, sex or some words to that effect.
So when you made that comment about rough sex or whatever it was.
Rough sex?
Yeah, that's what the comment you kind of made in that video. What you're saying, the reason you made that comment was you didn't want people to think the chief was coming up there to give money to get you out of trouble.
Yeah, I didn't want nobody to think that it was something about it.
Police say Reynolds then came to the gas station and paid for the items she tried to shoplift, and Reynolds says he told the officer to write her a citation.
I've helped her many times.
But has she ever stayed with you?
Yes, she has.
Okay.
She has a couple times, but there's been no sex.
Okay.
Again, with no criminal charges against him, Reynolds remains a Pioneer Village police chief. How is this rape accusation affecting him?
Of course, he's very concerned about the prospect of a possible criminal prosecution, but I think now that if it has been resolved that it's not going to be presented to the grand jury, I'm sure he's relieved.
Nissen's police powers were taken away and he was reassigned to administrative duties while his case makes its way through the court system. Valerie Chin, WDRB News.